Yeah, it's one
Cool.
of our favorites and one of
Yeah.
everybody.
Yes.
It's following what Walt Disney taught. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing about experience is that it is actually, out of all of the pillars that we teach, it is the most uncopyable because
Mm-hmm.
the experience I have with Anne and her secret groups, or just getting coaching through Anne, is never going to be the same as
Right.
coaching through Daniel Dinh.
I love when coaches, consultants, and professional service providers want to do big things in their business. They want to rise to the top and influence their market and the world around them. They want to have a greater impact and make a more lucrative income. Well, if this is you, welcome to Expert in You podcast, the show where I interview other experts and coaches, consultants, so that they can share their success strategies with you. We're going to talk about marketing and how to close more sales, how to get more premium clients, and how to really build your visibility in the market and scale your business like a boss. If this is you, welcome to the show. I want to ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell right now so you don't miss one episode. Grab your coffee and buckle up because we are ready to give it all to you to help you become the expert and get paid as the expert that you are. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Expert in You podcast. I'm your host, Ann Carden, and I'm excited to be back with you again today. And I am super excited about my brilliant guest, Daniel Dinh. Daniel, welcome to my show.
Hey, Expert in You podcast with the Expert in You master, Ann Carden. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to have you.
I'm a huge fan of the podcast. Like your tips helping the coaches and the entrepreneurs hit those high ticket clients. Just great tips. Great job. Congratulations. I can see why so many people love the Expert in You podcast and the book, of course.
Yes. Thank you so much. Super, super excited to have you here. And I had to laugh at Daniel right before we started recording because I said, wait a minute, are you interviewing me or am I interviewing you? Because of that intro that he just gave me. So I love it, Daniel. Way to go. Okay. So Daniel helps business owners become market leaders, category kings, and category queens. And I can't wait to show you some of the goodies I have that Daniel has created. Brilliant in the marketplace. But Daniel, tell everybody just in a nutshell a little bit more about you and what you're all about.
Sure. So my big story, I know Ann's big story with everything business related started in 91. In 91, so I'm 41. I'm the oldest millennial possible.
You're just a baby, Daniel.
I'm the oldest millennial. If there's a such thing as grandfather millennials, that would be me because 80, like the cutoff. I was almost a Gen Xer. But not a grandpa yet. I've got 4 kids. Aged 41, I'm 41, but my big story happened around 2009. Okay, so 2009, I'm what's called a super affiliate, and which means I was geeking out about websites and buying traffic, and I was setting up landing pages and trying to get people to take actions, and I got paid handsomely for my work. And I started planning my retirement in 2009 because I had this website. And I was good. And I mean, I tell you what, like it was great. And I had like the most popular, best converting website for car insurance. And I was making, some days I was making as much as $1,000 a day profit. And so I was like, yes, this is amazing. And for 6 months, nobody was touching me. Like it was just me and I was just raking in the dough. Nobody knew what I was doing. And started planning my retirement too early. At 6 months, somebody copied me. Like they swiped the entire copy and my ads. And I didn't feel the impact at first. But when one person copies you and they figure out that you got something that's working, the problem is that it generates more and more copycat competitors. And so 1 turned into 3, turned into 5, eventually more than 20. And then it eventually, like over a year, it was like more than 50. And my estimate is that when all was said and done, I had about 100 plus copycat competitors. And I can still find versions of the copy that I wrote in 2009 for that website on the web today for people selling car insurance.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, so what I learned out of that is when you have a smash hit, first of all, don't plan your retirement too early.
Great tip.
And two, if you don't follow the right steps for differentiating your business and becoming uncopyable, then people will copy you. If the barrier of entry to copy you is too low, people will copy you and they'll just completely rip off your work. And so I started working with my business partner down in Brazil, Pedro Superti, soon after. And for the past 12 years, we had the honor and privilege of helping over 20,000 students and clients, many of them out of Brazil, and then eventually students across the world, but many of them out of Brazil at first. And our whole thing was the X factor effect methodology. And we teach people how to differentiate their business to the point where they become uncopyable and they are positioned as unicorns in their markets and those category kings and category queens that you mentioned just a few minutes ago. And so that's our shtick, helping you reach that level of success in your market through the right types of differentiation, being uncopyable. We help you stack your differences that make a difference. And it's helped a lot of our students become wildly successful. And that is now what we're known for. We're like the be different people. And you're all about helping people be different as well.
Yes.
That's like, it's like part of it. Like you have to
You have to do it. Yes. Yes. You have to. Years when I was building brick and mortar businesses and I would get copied. In fact, I could see an ad in a newspaper that I ran and the health club down the street ran the exact same ad that I created. I was like, it used to make me crazy. But now I have this philosophy. You want your competitors chasing you. You don't want to be chasing them. And so you always have to be not just looking for ways to be different, but you always have to be leveling up your game. You cannot stay where you are. You have to keep one-upping everything that you're doing because there is always somebody on your coattails, 100%.
Well, that's super interesting. With the help clubs, I know you sold 2 of them. So did they copy the offer or just the ad copy?
All of it. I mean, all of it. I would see, yes, I would see that. In fact, I remember in the 2008 recession when I opened 2 more businesses, I was running 2. And I did that because a part of, obviously we had a recession, but also there was a low price competitor that came in that basically knocked me off and did everything I had done but was charging half the amount of money. And so and at that time I was still trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what do I do here? I've got so much invested in this and I've got this, multiple year-long lease. I mean, it's like, what do I do? And so that's where I really started learning how to be a good marketer and how to set myself apart. And I always did try to stay pretty cutting edge in all of my businesses, but I always had to one up. I had to be insightful enough to see what's coming down the pipeline. I had to be the first in. And I know, what that's like. So
yeah. And then sometimes you have to give concessions and just take it as a compliment. Like there's certain things that will be copied. And then there's certain things when you differentiate and do things differently enough where like people kind of give up. They're like, all right, that's too much work.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm not going to copy that. I'll copy the ad copy. I'll copy the offer. But yeah, like that's too much work. We're not going to do that.
One of the things you said, Daniel, is you said stack the value, or that is a great way to really set yourself apart. One of the things that makes it really easy for people to copy you is if you are kind of a cookie cutter entrepreneur, or you are sort of a one-trick pony. So for example, a strategy that you can teach people how to fill a Facebook group and, sell offers in a Facebook group. Well, everyone now does that. And so there's nothing different about that. So, but when you actually stack your experience, your expertise, your knowledge, your value, and you have all of these levels and layers to what you do, and it's all put into this package, people can't copy it. They just can't, right? And so that's a really important thing for people to know too, is the better you get, the more valuable you become to the market. And that's where people are chasing you. So they might be able to copy one little thing, but they're not going to be able to do the whole thing.
Yeah. Or it would be laughable. So we try to get people to the point where it would be laughable if they copied all your differences that make a difference.
Right.
So for example, so let's say I'm going to copy Anne. All right. So I'm going to copy Anne and I'm going to write a book called Expert in Us instead of Expert in You. I'm going to create a, mastermind program and it's all about Expert in Us. And I'm going to create a podcast and it's called the Expert in Us podcast. And so at some point it's like, wait a second. Like, what is this Daniel guy trying to do? Like, he is literally trying to be like an exact copy of, and then maybe I go through a sex change and I'm like, well, now I'm going to be a woman too. And then, so like people like, but nobody does that. Nobody, like, that would be crazy, right? And it would be laughable. But for me to copy one thing, like, oh, look at this Facebook ad. Oh, and all right, I'll copy the Facebook ad, right? So, and that's why with my website, that's why I was copyable. Like, I had converting sales copy that I created on that page. I wrote it myself. I took me a whole week to put it together and it just worked like gangbusters. And I was just raking in the dough, selling car insurance left and right. And then, well, that's easily swipeable. They just swiped it. And so we have 9 with our X factor effect methodology. We have 9 different pillars of differentiation. And we say, you don't have to follow all 9, but if you can follow 3 or 4 or 5 and stack those differences that make a difference, then people finally stop copying everything.
Yes. I love it. Why don't you very quickly run down those 9 pillars for our audience, for our listeners?
Sure. The first one, it's unavoidable. It has to do with avatar. Our take on avatar is you want to marry the perfect avatar. So you want to be, you want to choose your dream customers. But you also need to be able to attract your dream customers. You want that. And so if you don't have both sides of that equation, then it's not going to be a good fit. We've all worked with people that we didn't want to work with. So marry the perfect avatar. Make sure it's outside of that. That's like the one that's like, you have to do that one. The other ones are, you can pick and choose. Let's just be, you can pick and choose. So we say, when it comes to branding, we say, apply the Apple effect. And we say, instead of just creating one good brand, which should at least have one, we say, create a family of brands that support each other like Apple does. So that's pretty self-explanatory, like desirable brands that people want to be a part of. Now, and then the other pillar that goes hand in hand with that is lead your tribe. So Apple is a great example of tribe. Everything that Anne has created with the Expert in You community and podcast and her book and everything, it's an example of bringing the tribe together. So we say tribe is a great way to differentiate yourself as well. So those are the first 3: avatar, branding, and tribe. On top of that, we say impact. Okay, become an impact warrior. Be about something, a cause, a purpose, a movement. That's one way. You don't have to, but it's a way to definitely set yourself apart.
Yes.
Be like, Tom's, like, have a purpose with your brand outside of just we're selling shoes, right? Right. We actually have a purpose for what we're doing. Everything that has to do with expertise, we also have our own take on that as well. We say follow the celebrity code. And so that's our take on Expert in You. So if I was gonna
he's copying.
It wouldn't be Expert in Us podcast. Like, it would be the Celebrity Code podcast, and it would be, but that's our unique take on authority and expertise.
Yes.
Let's see, the last 4, I'll quickly go through these. We say, join the age of experience. And so, and just so you know, every single one of these pillars is like an entire course.
Of course, you're just running through these. Yes.
This is
his program, basically. He's giving here. Yes.
So we say, join the age of experience. So in 2024, people are sick of stuff. We all have enough stuff. We all have enough stuff, but people love a great experience. So we say, join the age of experience and add on great experiences with the products and services you sell.
Yeah. Let's stop there for a minute. I just finished a high-end mansion retreat for my clients.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that.
Yeah. We did a hot air balloon ride and we bring in a private chef and we do a professional photo shoot and all that good stuff. That is part of the experience that I give them when they work with me. What are some of the things you've done, Daniel? I think we can give some ideas here to people.
Yeah. One of our events is very similar to your balloon ride experience. We did a private helicopter ride where we had our VIPs come to one building. They had no idea what was going to happen, but we warned them, hey, like, make sure that you've got the next 6 hours, like set aside, because something crazy is going to happen. We go up to the top of this building. This is in Sao Paulo, Brazil, that this happens. We go to the top of this building. They have no idea what's going on. They go, and then there's a helicopter there waiting for them. Now, they're out of the 50 people that were invited to that private event, I think just 2 people were too afraid to go on the helicopter ride. Everybody else went, and we just sent them to the secret location in like a taxi or something. But so the other 48 people, they, secret helicopter ride to another building, secret location, and we had a secret meeting there. That was one of the cool things we did. Another really cool thing we did for one of our events. So there's this guy, and he's one of our students, and he's now, oh, I gotta plug in my computer. My computer just warned me. Oh no, I am a bad guest. I am a horrible guest. Okay, that was close. All right.
You're good.
So his name, he's known as the Batman of Brazil. And he specifically has permission, like legal permission to use the Batman name and call himself the Batman of Brazil because of his charity work that he does in hospitals. As part of his charity work, he has this get up where he is like he is Batman. He looks like every single time he gets in his Batman suit, it looks like he's on a movie set, like ready to shoot a film. That it's that well done. And he has a Batmobile as well. And so it was very expensive to ship his Batmobile to the event so that he could ride it out on stage. But
oh, wow.
He rode his Batmobile onto the stage to start off his presentation. Now that's cool. An experience right there.
That's cool. That is cool. I love it. Oh my gosh, great stories. All right. So you got some great ideas there, how to give an experience. But yeah, when you're working with people that are, again, you're trying to set yourself apart, you're trying to look like you are different from everybody else. That's a really great way to differentiate yourself. So
yeah, it's one of our favorites. And
everybody else.
So it's following what Walt Disney taught. And the thing about experience is that it is actually, out of all of the pillars that we teach, it is the most uncopyable, because the experience I have with Anne and her secret groups, or just getting coaching through Anne, is never going to be the same as coaching through Daniel Din. So the experience that I deliver will always be different than the experience Anne delivers, and it goes for everybody. And so it doesn't matter if you're a dentist, a lawyer, if you are a roofer, whatever it is, the experience you provide will always be unique to your customers. And it's going to be a good experience, a mediocre experience, or it's going to be a bad experience.
Right.
The end of experience, we're aiming for those great experiences that blow the socks off of our dream customers, because as we know, advertising is getting more and more expensive, and the more referrals we can get and the more positive word of mouth that we can get, the better for our brand. And so they all work together. These different pillars all work hand in hand.
Right. Well, it also really creates loyalty. Even if they don't stay with you forever, there's still a loyalty that you've created with that particular person, because let's face it, people come, people go, right? But when you build that relationship with them, that experience with them, it feels like, you've made friends basically with the person. So there's just this loyalty that goes along with that. You feel that way about them and they feel that way about you.
Yeah. And it's so what does Disney sell at the Disney parks? They sell memories.
Experience and memories. That's right.
They sell memories. So the reason why a family of 4 will save up for 3 years for a Disney trip I almost said business trip. We both go on too many business trips. No, a Disney trip. The reason why is because what they get to take home with them after that trip are memories.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to dive into the realm of what we call the intangible. And so now we're really talking about really high, like this is strategic stuff that we're talking about. But when you can start to sell the intangible,
right,
memories is part of the intangible.
mm-hmm.
The cool thing about the intangible is that the price is really hard to put on what it's worth. And to some people, some of the intangibles that you provide to them are priceless. For example, with your weight loss programs that you did and your health clubs, the transformations that you provided to people that literally changed people's lives, the price of that or the value of that to some of your customers and it was priceless.
Right.
Transformation that they went through was priceless.
Right.
So the more we can add intangibles to the experience or to the sale of our products and services, the more we can transform people's lives, the more we're able to charge, and the more people value us and our brands, and the more it differentiates us and sets us apart as those uncopyable unicorns that become market leaders and category queens.
Hi, friend. I have an exciting announcement. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Expert in You podcast, but I have to ask you, have you checked out the latest issue of Expert in You magazine yet? It's jam-packed with rich content, powerful strategies, inspiring stories, and so much more to help you elevate your business and personal growth. Don't miss out. Go grab your digital copy now and join our community of experts making a difference every day. Go to expertinyoumagazine.com and check out your digital copy today. Transform your expertise into success with Expert in You magazine. It's not just a publication, it is a movement. Yeah, so good. Did we go through all 9, Daniel, or did we have any left?
There's 3 more. I'll just quickly list them. So
go ahead and just say them.
Create ideas that influence, which is all about coming up with unique marketing messages.
Oh, I'm gonna share that in just a minute. Go ahead, keep going.
So yeah, this is a whole pillar.
Yeah, I have his box here. Okay, I have to say, Daniel, I have gotten a lot of great boxes, and this is brilliant. Like you can see, I have a box, but I don't have all the stuff in it that you do. I can't even tell you everything that's in here, but it is brilliant from the very beginning. In fact, the one thing that I told Daniel is it's a lot of stuff, Daniel. It's almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I do get that from some
good.
people.
It's like there's something in there for everyone. And that's what I really loved about it. I mean, everything from, his book in there, and it's just filled and loaded. Like, it is exciting to go through this box I got from Daniel. So yeah, so good. So good. Keep going.
Thank you so much. And no, that
I couldn't copy that, Daniel. I'm just telling you, I can't copy that.
Well, that was part of the point. Like,
yeah.
I tried to set the bar so high that people were going to be like, nah, I'm not.
You did it, sir. You did it. I love it.
We do have people interested in creating a similar type of box for like their book or whatever, but we made it hard to copy, envelope for envelope. So,
sure.
Yeah. So whatever, it goes back to the experience. If you created this level of interactive book box experience, like we've done, there's no way that yours is going to be the same as mine. It's going to be a completely different experience. And that's why experience is such a great differentiator. But also part of the purpose. So ideas that influence, one of the pillars, it's all about coming up with big, bold, sticky, and wildly successful marketing ideas. And the idea with the box experience was to make it so that the entire experience, we say, bleeds creativity, where you start to get ideas for your marketing just through the presentation of everything inside of the box in the book that you're getting access to. And then you actually start reading the book and it's like, wow, like now I'm coming up with even more ideas because these are great examples and great stories that are being shared. And so we say we want big, bold, sticky, and wildly successful marketing ideas as part of our differentiation, as part of our 9 pillars. And that is 7. So there's 2 more pillars. The last two are, we say, enter the offer matrix. And that's all about creating offers that other people don't provide to their dream customers.
Mm-hmm.
So differentiate your offers. And then the last thing is differentiate your sales process, sexy up your sales process, sell in a different way than your competition sells. And that's the 9 pillars right there. So we're not to overwhelm people, because like we said, the idea here with these 9 pillars is let's go deep on 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mm-hmm.
and we stack our differences that make the difference. And if I've followed 3 or 4 of these pillars really well, then I am a unicorn in my market, and I am loved by my dream customers because I do things differently in a way that they love.
So good. So good. So Daniel, what's going on with you now? Tell people what you're up to. I know you've really been working to break into the United States because you've helped so many people in Brazil. And I mean, 20,000 students, Daniel, that is so impressive. So impressive. But now you're breaking into the United States. So what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm native born in the United States, was born in Utah. And my business partner, Pedro, when we started creating the X Factor Effect methodology, the whole plan was we're going to use Brazil as a blue ocean. And it was, when we got started together, it was as blue could be. Like, it was wide open. We could have talked about anything and made sales. Um, that's how much of an opportunity it was. So unlike, in the United States and other English speaking countries, like, we have a lot of, marketing gurus out there. We were immediately different and immediately talking about things that nobody was talking about in Brazil. So it was a blue ocean. But the plan was to eventually take the methodology worldwide. And so I ran into this issue where it's like, okay, there's a bunch of competition around the world, but what we're teaching people is really impactful. We can help a lot more people if we can get our message out. And so we're like, okay, so how do we get our message out? And then it was like, well, we actually just have to practice what we preach. And that's why we're doing things differently. And our big thing at the moment is getting these box experiences out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna, within the next few weeks, we're starting up our first groups, because I already have people asking me more about, the X Factor strategy group and how they can participate. And so there's that. And then I'm also partnered with a really cool guy, Colin Dahan, aka Cowboy Colin. And I've been helping him build out programs, and we've been coaching a lot of people in the home service industry, and differentiation is part of it as well. So I get multiple chances with everybody in Colin DeHaan's world to talk about different ways to do the marketing and different ways to stand out with your branding and everything, because the home service industry is also starting to get to the point where you've got the clear market leaders, and then you have everybody else.
Right. Yeah, and I actually worked in that industry. I worked with a lot of trades and contractors. That was really when I first came into coaching 15 years ago. I was working with small business owners, and that was that big part of my business was working with those people. And I had to do that with every one of them, how to set them apart, because again, it's very competitive. There's not anything out there anymore that's not competitive. So these are skill sets that you really have to learn. But, I just want to hit on this for a minute, because Daniel, as you know, a lot of people create something. I've seen this where people created a brand years ago, and they really became known for that brand. But now that brand isn't really relevant to what they do, and they're afraid to change. They're afraid to move forward or to start it they can still leverage some of that, but they're afraid to actually evolve in their business and their brand, even in being different. And this is where people end up going backwards and declining a lot. And you always have to look for ways to stay cutting edge and stay at the top of your game and stay ahead of the competition. And I would love for you to add to that, because I know you have the same beliefs and you know that to be true.
Well, the best way I can help people that are in this situation, that they've been in business for 20 years and they're afraid of change, is through story and examples. So basically, we've had people, and so we have a filter for, best brand names, everything that break through the noise. Cause you also need not only your marketing to break through the noise, but you need sticky brand names.
Right.
You want people, you want to be remembered.
Mhm.
And when it comes to conversion rates, if you have a really bad name that doesn't convey what you do, then you're probably missing out on about half of your sales just because of confusion, because the confused mind doesn't buy.
Right.
And so we have seen people, we have convinced them, change your name finally after 20.
Mhm.
And we have seen multiple people get immediate sales conversion
Mhm.
bumps just because, oh, that's what you do.
Right. Right.
So instead of, Carden Associates for my
Right.
whatever,
Which tells people nothing.
which tells people nothing.
Yes.
We
Yes.
say that you want your brand names to be easy to spell, easy to remember, so sticky.
Mhm.
You want it to convey the right meaning.
Yeah.
So if Carden Associates doesn't convey,
By the way, that's not that
expertise.
isn't my name, everyone.
No, right, yeah. That's not
He's just using that as an example. I don't want to confuse people. It's just an example.
Careful. The confused mind doesn't buy.
Right. Yeah. But no, that's right. And what's in the name is the name sells things. The title sells things. If people can't see very easily, some of the names I've come and have for years, some of the names I've come across in business, I'm like, okay, what is that? Or what do you
Yeah.
do with that, right? People try to get cutesy sometimes with labels and names, and it might sound cute, but at the end of the day, what does it mean? And if I have to ask you, you're missing sales, you're missing business.
Yeah. So for example, like with your book, I believe in your subtitle, you talk about your expertise methodology, which it's with an X, and that's fine. But expert in you, if you would have named your book expert in you with an X, that does not pass the filter. It's not easy to spell.
And it's not a keyword either.
It's definitely not a keyword.
Yeah.
Expert with an X.
And you know what's so funny, Daniel, is as we evolve, I don't even use that expertise really anymore. It is in my book, but I don't really talk about that so much anymore because again, kind of evolved past that, right? So I'm not afraid to throw things out and not use them anymore.
Well, my point was that part of a methodology, like, you can get cool and creative with acronyms and stuff, and that's fine. But with our main brand names, like, yeah, we don't want to be cutesy. We don't want spellings. There's one brand, Zero Res. So they do carpet cleaning and everything. Maybe you have them in your area. They are probably the only company I can think of where they actually broke through the noise with like a confusing name. It's like, how do you spell that?
Yeah.
Well, and then they say it in their ads. It's spelled the same backwards and forwards or something like that. And then you have to think about it and you're like,
but it's not common for that really to happen. Yeah. I can remember my first $1 million program I created, I don't know, 20 something years ago, was called Body Blast. That's pretty simple. And it took off and it built it had its own brand and all of that. And so I learned all of that, way back when, that's the thing that really can set you apart and people can't copy and you can trademark and things like that. So there's such power in that. But even when I'm helping people create offers now, we're naming it. We're naming it because it's now going to be proprietary to them. Other people can't knock it off, but same thing. It has to be something that's going to be simple to understand.
Yep.
And then you can, like you said, then you can get cutesy with the acronyms and things like that. Or if you have an acronym, make sure it fits the title and it's so easy to understand. So yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, we could talk about that stuff all day, Daniel. We might have to do another show.
We could talk 2 hours just about.
We could.
Let's talk about branding.
It's like we're geeking out on this stuff.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, it all matters. Like if
it does.
The feelings associated. So we say you want a good feeling associated with that name, or you want it to convey the right thing. So
yes,
Body Blast. Yeah. You got the alliteration. It's easy to remember. And it's obviously.
And it was a blast to their body too. It was. The results were a blast. Yeah. It was a blast in a lot of ways. This has been so good. I have loved having you on. You're so much fun as a guest, and I love everything you're doing. You're just, from the first time I met you, you light up a room. What's that saying? You can either light up a room when you come in or light up a room when you go out.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you want to be the one that lights up a room when you come in. But no, I just knew I had to have you on the show, and I just love everything you're doing. And your box just blew me away. I mean, it blew me away, which I'm not super easily impressed, I just have to say, but I was super impressed with this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so you're doing such great things. Daniel, how can people get a hold of you? And did you have something that you would like to give them or drive them to get more of you?
Thank you so much, Ann. So in 2024, the best way to get to dive into everything that we're doing with the X Factor effect is actually to grab the box experience. It's free plus shipping. So we sexied up our sales process. If you remember, that's one of the 9 pillars.
Right.
by creating this amazing experience and then giving it away for free plus shipping. And so if you go to bigideasbox.com, then you can get the Ideas That Influence book and the box experience, and you just pay shipping and handling. And that is the best way to dive into our world in 2024.
Very cool. And we will put those links with the show notes as well. So Daniel, thank you so much for being here as my guest. It's been so fun having you on. And yeah, it's always fun to talk to somebody where you have similarities and you have obviously the same beliefs in what you're doing, but you're you, I'm me. We do things differently, even though a lot of the things people would look at and go, well, that's kind of the same. They're not, because we're different. So yeah, I love this. This was a great conversation. So thank you so much for being here, being my guest. And everyone, go grab his opportunity to get this box. It's amazing. You're going to get loads of ideas from it. And you're going to get to know him. And he's just such a cool person. And he's doing amazing things out there. So can't say enough about him. All right. So I will talk to you again next show. Make sure you subscribe to the show and also share it with your audience or with other people, because we're trying to get this show up to the top 1 to 2%. It's in the top 10% right now in the world, but we want to get it way up there. We want everyone to tune into Expert in You, because I have amazing people like Daniel on this show. So thank you so much. I will talk to you next time. God bless you all. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you're as excited as I am about scaling up your influence, business, and bank account, then I have just the thing for you. But first, make sure you subscribe to the show. Second, make sure you share it with someone you care about, because sharing is caring. And third, head on over to join me in my next free virtual exclusive workshop, where we'll explore proven strategies to boost your business and maximize your potential. Look, it doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're looking to take your business to the next level, my workshops are designed for you. So head on over to expertinyouworkshop.com to reserve your spot and get ready to transform your expertise into extraordinary success. I'm looking forward to seeing you there and helping you achieve incredible growth. Until next time, make sure you're always seeking the expert in you, and God bless. Have an amazing day.